Like,
Yeah.
what is this show?
This is ProSportsRoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Whole Technology Solutions.
Your name is?
My name is Mike. Your name is Caleb.
Okay. There you go. That's the intro.
This podcast is sponsored and brought to you by Polk Technology Solutions. Get a website, get found online, and grow your business. This guy does great work. You can check out my website. This video will be posted in my website and in the link. Does great work. Let him know that we sent you, and he'll do great work for you. Today, what we're going to talk about is Tom Brady, just a product of the system, or is he a real deal? Especially since you're a Michigan fan. Could Carson Wentz be the real deal this year? And when are we actually going to see Jared Goff? Are Minnesota and Seattle contenders or pretenders? Then we're going to pick 6 upcoming games, determine the outcome, find out who's going to win or not. We're going to find out who our potential Rookie of the Year candidates are. Then we're going to play a fun game called Stud or Dud. And that's all we're going to talk about today in this week's podcast. Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can't you see it?
I can see it. So, after seeing how well Jimmy G, aka Jimmy Garoppolo, did against Miami, is it safe to say that Tom Brady is just part of the system?
Yes. But at the same time, I don't think so, because I think he's going to be great anywhere that he goes.
Garoppolo or
No,
Brady?
Brady. But Garoppolo played great first 2 games. Matt Castle played great, got him 10-6, I think. Got him to the playoffs.
It was 8-8, I think. 10-6 or 8-8. But he,
10-6, I think so. But I don't know if they made the playoffs.
I think they barely made the playoffs that year.
So I think in the past 10 years, that's their worst record. It's 10-6, and that was with Castle. But then look what happened whenever he went to Kansas City.
Look what happened when he went to Seattle. He lost the starting job in Seattle.
I know, exactly. So Brady is a product of the system, but I think he'd still be great either way he went.
I just feel like if you put him in any other team, could he be the player that he is now? Let's say we take him away from Belichick. Because honestly, what I would do is I would give Belichick 90% and Brady 10%. Just because, just seeing the production that Jimmy Garoppolo has, Jimmy Garoppolo's never had a start before. I mean, we've seen what Matt Castle did with that team. So you take Tom Brady and let's say you put him in a team that doesn't have, I mean, you can't even say that doesn't have the talent that New England has, because New England doesn't have that great of talent. But you take him away from that coaching scheme and you put him in a Cleveland or put him in a Miami, is he going to excel and do the same things that he would without?
I think so. I think he'd be more like a Joe Flacco. I think he'd still get a Super Bowl, but no, he's not going to be anywhere near
He would get like
Belichick. But also though, like, I'm trying to think. Doug Gabriel at one point was his best receiver. I think it was in 2007.
Yeah.
Still did great because he doesn't have a lot of talent.
You see the passes that he does, and they're all short little hooks. Brady's not throwing down the field to Randy Moss unless it was when he had Randy Moss, and even then it was off of play actions to give him enough time to throw the deep ball.
I think it's more of like what you said, Belichick 90%, because he's probably the best coach of all time to me, because I think he brings out the best in everybody, because Blunt was fixing to have his career ended. Now he's great. Wes Welker came from Miami. He was good, but not as good as he was. Amendola came from us.
Stuff.
Where would Gronk be without him?
That's true too. I mean, if no Gronk, then no Brady. No Brady, no Gronk.
Or Gronk would be like Manziel is right now. You know?
Yeah.
Because he's a partier too. So
yeah. Is Carson Wentz the big deal this year? Is he rookie of the year? Is he the savior that Philly needed?
Probably, because I don't know any other rookies, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I just
mean,
know
besides
Goff.
the two quarterbacks that went first and Ezekiel Elliott,
Oh yeah.
those are your main rookies that were here this year. So
I would say Jalen Ramsey too, but he's not going to get a lot of recognition because
has he
he's on
been
Jacksonville.
starting?
Yeah, he's starting.
He's starting.
I'm trying to think. He was, I think he was shadowing Randall Cobb first game.
First game?
So that's
No, it was last game.
no, that was first game.
It was first
Jags
game.
against Packers. Yeah.
Carson Wentz is. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have the talent that everyone else really has. I mean, he's got an old Darren Sproles. He's got an older Jordan Matthews. He's got a Doyle Green Beckham that's coming off of being at Tennessee. He's got
Yeah, he
somewhat of
doesn't
a
have
decent.
anybody,
No,
does he?
I mean, he's working with what he's got, and he's doing a great job of it.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, I can see Carson Wentz doing big things this year, still possibly going an 8-8. I mean, that division is just hard as it is.
What is it? Philly,
Philly,
Cowboys,
Yeah.
Giants, and Redskins.
Yeah.
That's a trash division.
I mean, it's not like it's not the AFC North, but it's still one of those divisions where it's like they just beat each other up all the time. Their just rivalries are great.
I think they're classic. They're not great because
Right.
like right now, all of them are. They're okay.
Subpar.
Like the Eagles, I think are going to be all right.
I think
Because
the
if
Giants
Wentz
will be
is
all
as
right.
good as he's looking, then yeah.
Yeah,
Giants can never tell with them. Redskins, they'll look good and then they'll
so
suck.
it's like
the next
it looks
week.
like they're falling downhill. And then Cowboys, I mean, they're hoping and praying on Dak Prescott right now. So speaking
That's
of
my rookie of the year,
Dak
Dak Prescott. Yeah, not Wentz. Dak. Yeah, but,
Speaking of another rookie, when's Jared Goff gonna show up? Do you want him to show up?
never. I want to trade him for Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith.
All right.
Let's see.
Well, I don't need any more quarterbacks. As a Jets fan, we already have 4 quarterbacks, and 2 of them are rookies.
But I really want what's his name, Bryce Petty.
No, sorry,
Yeah, I
can't
want Bryce
trade for
Petty.
that. Sorry. So no Goff
No go.
at all this year. I mean, if you guys are
Yeah, because we're gonna be desperate, but I don't.
0
want
and
that to
12, you wanna throw them in the last 4 games? I'm not saying you're gonna go 0 and
happen.
12 because
Can't
you've
go
already
to
won 1 game.
We're gonna go 2-14 because we're gonna beat Seattle twice again.
Okay, so
But yeah, we're gonna see him, but I don't want.
when do
to see him.
you think that you'll see him? I mean, you're gonna see him at the game this weekend.
I'm gonna see him on the sidelines.
Is he gonna dress?
Yeah, he's gonna dress. I don't know, probably mid-season,
Mid-season?
but I don't think it should because Mannion looks really good. Keenum's always gonna be a backup.
Can
Goff.
just a solidified backup wherever you go.
I really think that they drafted Goff just because he's from California and we moved back to LA. I really think that's
Just
the reason why.
a home welcoming
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because we moved back to LA, so we need the biggest name we could get. Because Wentz was he came from North Dakota State.
North Dakota State
Goff
came
came
from
from
Cal.
Cal. So yeah, you're gonna draft when you're coming back home. So guy from
We dropped
Cal.
Cal. Since you guys just beat Seattle, are they going to be contenders this year, or are they falling apart without Marshawn Lynch?
They're falling apart, but our division is Seattle, San Fran, LA, and Arizona. So no, I don't think they're gonna make playoffs.
I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs just because of how much they've lost.
Yeah.
I mean, just defense and offense, and they just look like they don't have an identity.
I don't think that the loss to us really matters though because
No.
we always beat them and we always beat the teams that we're not supposed to beat.
It's
but
not-
we're gonna lose to Tampa this week, so
It's not that it's not that you guys beat them and that makes them not contenders, but Miami doesn't look very good this year, and them almost losing to Miami kind of messed it up. Only scoring field goals in a game against LA was kind of rough. They just got a tough. I mean, they got a tough schedule, and they don't look like they have the team morale or anything. Maybe they'll pull a Giants and go 8-8 or 9-7 and make the playoffs and win it all. But
helmet catch.
I mean, it'll be tough. I don't see Seattle being. I see them kind of being pretenders more than contenders.
They're pretenders until they get another running back.
Yeah.
So if they drafted Ezekiel Elliott,
If they would have
they would be contenders.
Big time. I thought they were going to trade up for him.
Yeah, that would have been smart.
Speaking of dominant running backs, what about Minnesota? Do you think that they're contenders or just pretenders?
If the line can protect Bradford, I think they're contenders, but I don't know. It depends on how the running backs do.
I see a somewhat decent team with a quarterback that just went down and a dominant defense. It honestly looks like the Denver of the NFC last year.
Yeah, but last year they were a somewhat decent team.
Yeah,
and they lost by a field goal to Seattle. So now they got Bradford, who could do some damage if he's protected, and then they get Peterson back in the playoffs.
A healthy Peterson.
They might do a deep run.
I can see a deep run coming.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're contenders. So
I like that. All right. So we're gonna do 6 games. Pick 6. I'm gonna pick 6 games, and we're gonna find out who you think is gonna win tonight, or overall of them. And speaking of tonight, we'll go ahead and pick tonight's game. You guys will see this tomorrow, so it'll be Thursday's game. But Houston at New England. Old Tony Brisket, because I don't like the Patriots, so Brissett, it's really. But
see, I heard Edelman's getting the start.
Edelman is not getting the start.
But
from what I heard, it's Tony Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Julian Edelman as an emergency. Jimmy Garoppolo's dressing just in case.
See, that's stupid, though.
I agree with you. But who you got tonight? New England or Houston?
Houston.
I got Houston.
Houston.
Denver versus Cincinnati. Who you got?
Where they at? Do you know?
Believe they're in Cincinnati. I believe.
Cincinnati.
I'm gonna take Denver on this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not because of their offense. It's
that's their defense.
It's
that's
just their
I
defense.
Yeah,
Trevor Siemian doesn't look like he's top 10 quarterback, but
yeah.
that defense looks like the best defense I've ever seen.
Yeah, you see, I was wondering how they won 2 games because I haven't been paying attention to him. So I was like, oh, Simeon must be really good.
Yeah.
But then I looked at, the stats, and I was like, oh, he's just Trent Dilfer whenever he won with the Ravens.
100%.
So, yeah, okay. So,
all right. We'll go to my game. 4 o'clock game, New York and Kansas City. What do you got?
New York. They can't cover both of them.
That's a good question. That was a good answer.
Decker and Marshall, they can't cover both of them.
I'm going to go with New York, and I'm not going to go with the offense. I'm going to say that Revis is going to do everything in his power to shut down Jerry Macklin.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because after this, bless you. Oh man.
Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. I like that new receiver y'all got.
And Nunwan?
Yeah.
And Nunwan was there last year. He was showing out.
I picked him up for my fantasy team.
I
don't know if it was smart, but
they're averaging.
Are they passing a lot?
Yeah, Fitz had over 300 yards, and they both had over 100. Or 2 of them had over 100, and 1 almost had 100.
Yeah, I don't think Kansas City can stop all the receivers.
This offense is just one of the best that I've seen, but I'm picking New York, obviously, and it's not because of the offense. I'm going with the defense. I think Revis is going to shut down Jeremy Macklin to the best of his ability. Last week, he only allowed 1 catch, and it was the 87-yard.
Burnt.
Yeah, well, you'd get burnt too if a guy ran Usain Bolt speed.
Burnt.
Yeah, so Now we'll switch it over to your game, the game that you'll be at.
Yeah.
LA at Tampa. Who you got?
I'm going to go to my first Rams game that I've ever seen,
It's gonna be exciting.
and I'm going to see them lose.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless Gurley has, 300 rushing yards. And,
Oh, okay.
And
that's
Case
possible.
Keenum throws his first career touchdown pass, and Brian Quick's not injured, and Fisher gets fired. And
So what you're saying is that what needs to happen is a series.
unless we rebuild in a
Unfortunate.
couple days, and we're not going to win.
I'm taking LA just because I think Todd Gurley. I think a lot of people are finally like, all right, look, Todd Gurley's not doing anything. Yeah, he's done. He's a 1 year bust.
Sophomore slump.
Yeah, he's in a sophomore slump. I think Todd Gurley's gonna run all over this defense.
See, that's why I said 300 yards though, because I feel the same way. Because I think he's gonna have a good game, but I don't think we're gonna win.
I think if he has a good game, I think you guys are gonna win it.
That's the new AP.
Yeah, big time. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Easy.
If it's at Philadelphia, I'm gonna go with an upset pick. I'm gonna say Philly.
Easy.
I think if Philly wins this game, there's gonna be a lot of talk about Carson Wentz, like we've been talking about. But I'm gonna put my trust in the rookie on this one, and I'm gonna say Carson Wentz.
They got potential to win it.
They do.
But Antonio Brown kind of got shut down last week, so
Yeah, he
it
did.
doesn't happen 2 weeks in a row.
He did. And then we'll go with the Monday night game. Atlanta versus New Orleans.
Why would you put that on TV?
It's Monday night.
I know,
It's Monday night.
But that's not a good primetime game.
Atlanta's not a very good Monday
I know.
night game.
I got a friend that's an Atlanta fan, Greg.
Yeah.
Last year when they went 6-0, he's talking all this trash, and then they went downhill.
8-8.
Yeah. New Orleans.
I'm going New Orleans. I think Drew Brees had a bad game last week, and I think he's gonna throw for 400 yards.
How about Snead though?
How about Brandon Cooks?
Both of them.
So that's our pick six. We had most of them the same. There was a couple that didn't go.
There was.
I think we were like 3 for 3 that we had the same. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and thank our sponsors on this one. This podcast is sponsored and brought to you by Polk Technology Solutions. Get a website, get found online, and grow your business. Guys, this guy is really, really good at what he does. He built my website. He built so many of my friends' websites and works with them, and he's really, really good. His website and all his information will be in the link below. But we just wanted to say thank you very much to Polk Technology Solutions and everything that you do for us.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks again, sponsors. We really appreciate that. All right, next one. Who's your rookie of the year, offense and defense this year?
Dak Prescott,
All right.
offense. I don't know any defense besides Jalen Ramsey because I didn't pay attention to the draft this year. It wasn't exciting like it usually is.
There's no big names coming out of the draft.
So yeah, I'm just gonna say Ramsey.
I'm gonna go with Zeke. I think Ezekiel Elliott will somehow lead that team to an 8-8 record. He'll have over 1,000 yards.
He's a mammoth of a man.
He will. Yeah, he looks like a mammoth of a man. No offense. And defense, I'm gonna go with the Jet. I'm gonna go with Darren Lee, the middle linebacker who just has been swallowing up defenders left and right. Or
I would say
guys.
Miles Jack, but
he hasn't started.
yeah, he doesn't start because Jags have decent linebackers.
They
But I think he's gonna actually end up being really talented. So, like, he's gonna make a big difference in Jacksonville. So,
I like it.
not this year.
All right, we're gonna play this game. It's a random game. It's called Stud or Dud. We're gonna talk about one team or one player of your choice that you think is a stud, and that can be a stud for the rest of this year.
One player.
or
Just-
one team. I would
or
probably
a
go,
team.
yeah, whichever one you think. It's kind of like your dark horse player or team.
I'm gonna go with 2 teams for the studs, cause one NFC, one AFC.
All right.
I think the Ravens are gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, especially with that Eric Weddle pickup.
Yeah, they're actually looking
They're looking like a decent
pretty
team this
decent.
year.
NFC is always my sleeper, always the Giants, because
I like that.
Shepard's looking really good for
Sterling Shepard's a
receiver.
monster. That's a
Mm.
3-headed monster of a receiver
Obviously,
out there.
you got Victor Cruz back.
That's
He's
a
actually
scary-
looking good.
That's a scary wide receiver core right there.
You got obviously Odell, but can you imagine if they would have, if Ruben Randall could have,
Stayed, never
yeah,
left.
went to his potential though.
Yeah.
Because that's
Or if they just had a dominant tight end.
nasty. Yeah, but I would like to see one day somehow the Giants and Miami trading to get Jarvis Landry.
Oh man, I like that.
Both of them
I like
back
that
together.
trade. One dud. Who would your dud be? Team or player?
Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
Why? I feel bad for Blake Bortles.
I do too, because he's got a really, really, really good offense around him.
He's just got a. I mean, you put anybody else in there, he looks great. I'm gonna for stud. I'm gonna go New Orleans. I feel like New Orleans is gonna have a really, really good year this year. I'll do the same thing you did, AFC and NFC. So NFC, I'm gonna go New Orleans. I think New Orleans is gonna have like a 12-4 year. Drew Brees is gonna throw over 5,000 yards.
12-4.
12-4. He's gonna throw for over 5,000 yards.
So they're going to be second in their division at 12-4.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's like the best division ever.
And the second one for their AFC, I'm gonna go Oakland. Oakland is not
Yeah.
starting out like oh so hot. I mean they're 1-1, but I think Oakland they're just a scary team. Just a scary team to work with. Dud. I'm gonna go with New England. Just because they're starting out strong right now. I just feel like Tom Brady's gonna come back and just.
I think the only reason
you say
you're
yes, I'm only
Dud
saying that
is
because I'm a Jets
of-
fan.
Yeah, that's the only reason. You can't
Part
in
of
your
me,
heart
part of me
believe
really
that.
just wants the Patriots to just be really, really bad this year.
Because you can't in your heart believe
In
that.
my heart, no, I can't believe that.
Because
My dud will be Seattle. I don't think Seattle's. I think they're gonna do 6-10 this
Yeah.
year. I think Seattle's gonna have a really, really tough time. They're gonna realize that Marshawn Lynch was a big part of their season.
should have paid him.
Unfortunately, I feel like Pete Carroll's gonna get fired after this year.
No,
I don't
he
think he's
better
on the.
not.
I don't think he's on the hot seat, but I feel like that's just gonna happen. All right.
Can I
Now-
just say one thing?
Yes.
You know who the real dud is?
Say it.
Derek Carr's brother.
David Carr.
Yeah.
David Carr.
I feel so bad for him because of
It's
how good his brother's doing.
David Carr's just gonna always be under his little brother's shadow.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen all the time.
No, definitely not. I mean, even look at it for Peyton and Eli. Eli's won 2,
2 Super Bowls.
and Peyton's won 2 and lost 2 or 3.
Did he even play 2 seasons?
Peyton?
No.
Oh, Eli?
Derek.
Oh,
Carr's
Derek
brother.
is in his
No. Derek Carr's brother.
David Carr. Yeah, he played.
See, I can't even remember.
He
his
played
name.
like 8 years with Houston. All right. Are you ready for a bold prediction?
Yeah.
Buffalo goes 0-5 and they fire Rex Ryan.
Yeah, I think they're gonna fire him because they need to find an excuse to fire Rob Ryan. So if Rob Ryan goes, Rex Ryan has to go.
I feel like they go 0-5. They realize that it was Rob and Rex, and they fire them both.
But I only think Rex is getting fired because Rob's got to go.
No, Rex was on the hot seat last year because he didn't make the playoffs. And if you start 0-5, it's almost not gonna happen to make it.
I wish teams wouldn't fire Rex Ryan.
It's
I wish that they would demote him to defensive coordinator.
Well, that's what'll happen is he'll go be a defensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah.
Now you
'Cause,
honestly,
no, he's great.
as a Rex Ryan, somewhat of a fan because he was a Jets. You know, he was all talk, but you know where he would fit perfect at? College. He would fit
because he's kind of Harbaugh.
perfect out of college. Put him and Rob out of college, and you'll have the best defense ever. Because Rex and Rob will just be like, "Oh, hey, you want to be a part of the best defense ever in college history? Come play for us and
Sign up. Can you imagine?
come play for us in Cincinnati, or at Cincinnati University, at
Bearcats.
Louisville."
Yeah, because they need a defense. I mean, obviously they shut out Florida State, but
But
I don't think they're as good as people think.
oh, they are. Sorry, dude.
No, I'm saying Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, Louisville's
Yeah,
good.
Louisville's good.
Can you imagine Rex Ryan and Rob Ryan, like Harbaugh recruiting them to coach at Michigan?
So you're saying like Rex and Rob,
Like a three-headed
like a
coach monster.
so Rex, Rob, and Harbaugh all sitting in a living room.
Yeah.
Saying
Talking
"Yo,
trash to their
what's,
parents.
What's up, Dominique, Johnson, Jackson, Terrell? We want you to be the next Perry Kitchen on our defense.
No,
Man, that's
next-
scary.
We're gonna say Charles Woodson
That's
since
scary.
they're at Michigan right now.
No, we'll say that. Another bold prediction. Jay Cutler doesn't see the football field for the rest of this year.
Who's their backup?
Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer comes in, wins 3 games, 3 out of 5.
Well, is Cutler hurt right now?
Cutler has arm, thumb,
Yeah,
mental.
He's gonna see the field because Hoyer, especially after playoffs last year, what did he throw, like 6 picks?
Hoyer didn't throw 6 picks.
Against Kansas City, I think he did.
Oh yeah, but that's Kansas City.
That, by the way, I think Rex Ryan would fit in there as a
Andy
defensive coordinator.
I like that. Yeah, that'd be really good. Well, I can't wait to find out what happens next week when we find out our picks. See who did that. Maybe we'll do something crazy. Who did that? Winner gets, I don't know. We'll figure that out. You guys will see that next week. But thanks for tuning in to Pro Sports Room. And once again, thanks to our sponsors. And see you next week. Everyone, this is Harambe's Sports Corner, where we take the shots, not him.
Oh my god!
We're changing the name. That's our new name.
Alright.
That's the new. That's the new
Caleb
name.
looked at you with like sheer genius.
Yeah.
I wish George was here for that.
Yeah.
This is the best.
I try, man. I try.
Ever.